Hey, just in case, Jack here. I'm back with another video. We're going to talk about food and bugging out. We've been doing a series of videos where we talked about bug out shelter options and some of our favorite gear there. Talked about water filtration and the Sawyer Mini. We've talked about my favorite bug out bag. So today we're going to talk about food, and I'm excited about this video because we're going to start a fire. We're going to use this Jetboil to boil some water and then cook some food. So the first thing I want to talk about is I recommend if you're going to have food in your bug out bag or your survival pack, I recommend you take freeze-dried food. And the reason why we want freeze-dried food is because they've eliminated all the moisture out of the food, basically, and seal it in packages that last for a really long time. If you don't use it for a decade, it's still going to be good later when you eat it. A couple decades, you're still good. You know, this one here is 25 years and this one here is 30 years. So this stuff lasts forever. It's lightweight. It's in nice thin packaging, so it doesn't take up much space in your pack. Now, let me just say, food is one of the least important options in your bug out bag. The food in your pack is just to get you from A to B, and if it's a one-day hike, you don't need any food, honestly. Fill it with other gear. It's more important. Because there's three things you're either going to do. Your bug out's really, really short for some reason, you know, like a one-day hike. In that case, when you get to your bug out location, there's probably going to be food there, or you should be thinking about what food's going to be there, right? Because you can't put it all in your pack. The other side of the coin is if you're going to be bugging out a long time, a couple months, maybe your plan is to kind of live a nomadic lifestyle if society were to ever collapse. I'm not saying that's easy. I'm not even saying I recommend that, okay? You're going to have a bigger bag. You're going to have more gear. You're like snares so you can catch rabbit and you can catch squirrel, and firearms, you know, fishing gear, that kind of thing, so that you could get calories. This will only last so long in that scenario, right? This may get you a week, and it's more important that you learn how to continue to get calories. So where freeze-dried food in a bug out situation works the best is those who have a 3, 4, 5 day bug out, right? Something that it's going to take them a few days to get into the wilderness to a location that they've pre-identified, and you want a few calories because while you could do that bug out without any calories, it's going to slow you down, you're going to be miserable, your morale's going to drop, your energy levels are going to drop, and you really want a few calories along the way. That's where the freeze-dried food comes in, and if that's your situation, if that's what you're planning for, I got the best solution for you. I want to tell you why Mountain House is the best for your backpack. The key is how you prepare this food versus how you prepare this food. So let me read Valley Food Storage's first. So the directions: bring 5 cups of water to a boil, which is quite a bit. Whisk the entire contents of the package. Turn down to a gentle boil for 15 to 20 minutes, stirring occasionally. So basically what you're doing is you're opening this up, you're getting a pot. You need a pot of 5 cups of water. Bring that to a boil. You pour this into the pot, you whisk, and then you end up with a delicious meal. And it's a nice big meal for a family, 5 servings. This will feed a family of 2 or 3 or 4 people pretty easily. So it's an excellent option for that. However, some of the limitations are this Jetboil system here, which I use for bugging out and backpacking. You can't see it in there, I don't think. Maybe you can, but right there's a line. There's a line in there. And the line says, max safe fill 2 cups. Okay? So how are you going to get 5 cups of boiling water with this? You're not. There's no way. Okay? So you're going to have to cut this in half, and then you're going to have to reseal it. And I'll show you in a minute, but you're going to need a plate to be able to mix and serve. You need a bowl to mix part of this because you can't mix it in here because you're only using part of it. It's not very streamlined and efficient. If we look at Mountain Houses, carefully add 2 cups of boiling water. 2 cups. I think these two products talked to each other at some point in the past and said, hey, we're sizing this for 2 cups. And Mountain House said, great, we'll make ours for 2 cups. That way, when you're backpacking, you do 2 cups, and then you'll see in a minute, we'll actually pour the hot water into this and mix it in the container. This becomes your mixing bowl. Okay? You don't have to have a separate mixing bowl. That saves you weight. With this, you would. You'd have to portion this out somehow. This is the key reason why Mountain House is the best. So let's check the weight on this guy. I'm just curious here. We always do this. 5.6 ounces for 600 calories of beef stroganoff. Okay. This one, this Valley Food Storage, I'm guessing is going to weigh more. It's about double, 9.7. But it's 5 servings, so it's, you know, twice the servings, and we've talked about all that. So there's the measurement. So, you know, if you're going to take a 3-day bug out, you want 3 of these. You're talking 15 ounces. You're talking like 1 pound roughly, right? 1 pound for almost 2,000 calories. Split up over 3 days, not bad. It's better than nothing, right? And 3 of these fit in a pack won't take up a ton of space. It'll take up a little bit of space, but not a ton. It's doable. Okay, let's make lunch. So I have my stainless steel water bottle, and it's full of water. So we'll unscrew the cap here. Now, you may be asking why the fill line is somewhere in here, right? Why couldn't I fill it up here and boil more water? And then, you know, I could maybe use the other freeze-dried food bags. The reason why is because this thing boils so hot and so fast. It comes to a rolling boil, which you'll see in a second, very quickly. And if you fill it up to here, it just starts pouring out. I've done it. I've made the mistake a few times, and it's just a mess. So the max fill line is important because it allows for some room for that rolling boil to bubble up so that you don't end up with a mess, basically. So this basically slides down, you twist it, and it's locked. Let's turn this guy on. Alright, there we go. We're going to get this up to a nice boil. In the meantime, there's the title line. There's a Ziploc type seal. Okay, and that's for, look at that. Oh, let me make sure you remove the oxygen package. They say in here if you forget to remove the oxygen package and you make it and stir it, just don't eat it, right? It's fine, but try to remember to remove it before you actually put the boiling water in. But look at that. I don't know. That looks pretty good to me. So I can see the noodles and I can see the meat chunks. It smells like stroganoff. I'm excited. I'm hungry. Once that's done boiling, we're going to pour that in, and then we're going to zip this up, and we're going to lock that heat inside for about 10 minutes. So I got to stay on this trigger, or else this thing will boil over fast. Alright, we're boiling good. You can hear it, sort of. Let me get this in here. So 2 cups, oops, straight into this pouch. Let's mix it up a little bit. Make sure all the stuff in the bottom, all that freeze-dried food in the bottom, the noodles and the powdery stuff, turns into the nice sauce, is all mixed in with water. And we'll take this and we want to make sure we get as much air out as we can. Seal it. Man, that's hot. Whew. That is hot. It's a hot bag. So this thing's made out of Mylar. So that's what helps cook it, and it helps with shelf life of this food. First of all, before you ever open it, you know the food in there. It's got that oxygen absorber. Makes you take. Not only is the food in there dried, so there's very little moisture. You also basically remove all the oxygen. This thing absorbs all the oxygen. So with no moisture, with no oxygen, you get extremely long shelf lives. Okay, because the moisture and oxygen are the 2 things needed for mold to grow. So if you take out moisture, you take out oxygen, you eliminate mold. So as long as you store these in a dry location and keep it out of water and don't puncture the bag in any way, this food in here will last 30 years. Like, it's just amazing. So that's thank you technology, right? It's just incredible. So that's what's going on with that. Man, I'm getting hungry. It smells good. Smells like beef stroganoff. While we're waiting for this to cook, the utensils you need to do this is you need a spork. What's nice is this Jetboil came with this spork. So, there. That's all you need. It's lightweight. It's made of really hard plastic. It won't melt. It's a spoon, so if you ever have to ladle up something spoon-wise, and it's a fork, so it's a spork. But I just put it right there, and it's always with my Jetboil. So whenever I cook food, I have a fork. If you're a backpacker and you've done it a lot, you know that every ounce matters. You need to shave your weight as much as you can, so that you can be quick, you can be smart, you can be tactical, you can move, you can get extra miles in. All those things matter when you're trying to get the heck out of Dodge fast. So, okay, I think it's sat here long enough. It's time to open it up. Give it one last mix. Taste here. It looks like there's mushrooms in it too, which for some that may not be appealing. I like mushrooms, so I'm gonna blow on it a little bit. Pretty hot. Okay. I'll tell you what. It tastes pretty good. Is it 5-star dining? No. But it's good. It's good. So what I'm going to do is, I would normally just eat this out of the pack, right? Like, you know, I wouldn't carry an extra plate or anything, but I brought this up here. It's good. Brought this up here so that I could pour it out and show you guys what it looks like. Like I said, I wouldn't normally need to even do this, but I'll just show you how good this looks. So there you go. And that's what's important here. You're able to make a meal in a stealth-like situation, because you don't really want to build a fire on a bug out, especially if you're trying to be, you know, incognito. If you're trying to pass through an area that maybe, you know, there might be somebody who owns the land and you're crossing through their land, and the last thing you want to do is build a nice big fire so that you can cook your food, right? They're going to see that fire from miles away. They're going to see that smoke from miles away. You need a system instead that you can boil water, like a Jetboil, tiny little fire, 2-3 minutes max. You got some food. You're basically not creating a footprint. You're basically traveling, stopping, getting a meal, getting some rest, and moving on with leaving no trace. Nobody knew you were there. You know, no sound, no crackling fire, no smoke. If you can snag and put a few of these in there, man, talk about a morale booster. Because I'll tell you what, there's just nothing quite like, after a long day of hiking, your back's sore, your feet are sore, you're just mentally exhausted, and you can sit down and make, in just a few minutes, a meal like this. It's just incredible. It's so good. The noodles are nice and soft and tasty. The sauce that's created is delicious. Chunks of real meat. And as long as you stir it up really good, that meat, it rehydrates. It takes in that boiling water, and it's not like fine cuts of steak or anything by that. It's like a ground beef, but it's still really, really good. So this is the stuff that's going to power you through. You eat this, you sleep for 3 or 4 hours, you get back up, you put your pack back on, fresh pair of socks, you're out of there. You're moving. And you're fresh, and you feel good. If you stopped and you had nothing to eat, it would just be miserable to get that pack back on. You'd be hungry, you'd be tired, and yeah, you can do it that way. I mean, if you want to save weight, you can not take food, and that's fine. I totally get that argument. And like we talked about, you know, depending on your situation, that may be the judgment call you make. But, you know, we're humans. We're not machines, right? If we were machines, then it wouldn't matter. You just, you know, stop, get some rest, charge your batteries, get up and go. But we're humans, you know. We're able to move faster and do things when we feel good, when we feel we've made good progress, we're filling our bellies, we're getting some sleep, and then we're moving on, okay? So if you can find some room in your pack for a couple Mountain House meals, I recommend you do so. You'll definitely thank me on the trail when you're eating a nice meal. They're great for bugging out. They're great for backpacking. You know, if you're just going to go hunting for a weekend or just hunting for a day and you're going to be out in the wilderness, what happens if you get trapped out there? You know, that's when you want a survival pack, right? You got your whistle, you got a few self-defense items, you got Mountain House food, just in case, right? Because again, I could boil water in this over fire and then pour this in. So I wouldn't even need the Jetboil necessarily in a worst case scenario. If you're really trying to save weight, this just makes it more convenient. This makes it faster. This makes it more stealth and incognito, where you can move through without building a fire. But yeah, you could do a fire, boil your single-walled stainless steel, remove the cap, get this over the fire somehow carefully. Once it's boiling, pour it in, you're good. You don't need that. Either way, a good meal to fill you up at the end of a long day, it matters. If you decide that you need some food, your boil's long enough that you need food but not too long, I recommend you go with Mountain House because of the convenience, and you pair that with what I use is the Jetboil system. I can verify that this works well. What's really nice is, you can just attach this, and this fits inside. All the components you need, this does not fit inside. So, but there's a lid for this. But that's not too bad. That can fit in the side or in a pouch main compartment of your bug out bag, and it doesn't take up too much space and it doesn't weigh too much. So that kind of setup's all you need. A couple of bags of Mountain House of your favorite entrees. Obviously, you'll have water with your pack. You don't need the plate. You can eat directly out of the pouch. You're all set to go. That's my recommended setup for your bug out bag when it comes to delicious freeze-dried food.